Okay, I'm going to talk about people that hack. I don't like anybody that does that sort of stuff. I think it's a violation, and the worst form of violation outside of rape and child abuse. Um, so I did, try to kind of, on numerous occasions, tell people that I had been hacked. Now, I had experienced hacking long before I had got a desktop. That desktop is now gone, but I kept the hard drive. I have it somewhere. So basically what happened was I was already experiencing hacking from when I was on Loughborough Estate. And after moving here to Lupino Court, I had spoken to somebody that I had known when I was 20 years old. They flew in from Portugal. And at the time I didn't have, because my laptops at the time, viruses. So I've got two old laptops. They both have viruses in them. So I didn't have any form of computer, and I was just using my phone. So the person I spoke to, who I knew when I was 20 years old, who flew over from Portugal, used to work on Almesbury Avenue in a pet shop. Almesbury Avenue, Streatham Hill. In a pet shop. So he said that he knew somebody that had a charity, and that if I helped out with the charity, I might be able to get myself a free desktop. So I was all up for that. Put some effort in and get a free desktop, getting it put together by someone who's an expert in building computers and a software expert and does coding and programming. And I thought these people wouldn't cause me any problems. Because I thought, because I knew the person who flew over from Portugal from when I was 20 years old, I didn't think that, these people would actually cause me problems, but they did. Now, this is why I got angry as well, because at the end of the day, I don't like coders and I don't like programmers. Every computer programmer and every computer coder, person that I've met, is disgusting and perverted. And I'm telling you, with all the ones that I have met in my life, and I've met quite a few, I can't code and I can't program. Which infuriates me, because I'm so clever in so many areas and really can learn quick like this about anything. But I can't learn that. I remember when my son was living at home with me and he was just about 3 years old, I started trying to learn Python. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't even understand the learning platform, let alone the actual how to do the coding. So I even went as far as to do, for a while, Barclays Bank were doing coding for children. So I thought, well, I'll try that one to see if I can learn the coding. Start very simple and try and work up from there, because I thought it would be a good thing to know how to do these things. One of the reasons I wanted to know how to do these things later on was for I was using for a short while an animation software thing, trying to make my own videos and, animations and stuff. It's not Maya, it was a free version of Maya. And it's easier to get what you want if you know how to code and program. So I kept on trying to learn it. For some reason, it's not my forte. I can learn anything. You can give me a subject, I can come back with you within 24 hours with a whole lot of knowledge about it that I've fully learned. Anything apart from coding and programming, it's a no-no. It's, the one thing I used to say about it was, I could do with a dictionary that has all the terms in it. Once I can see it in a dictionary format, then I could learn how to do it properly. But no one put computer programmers and computer coders and people that design things to learn computer programming and learn computer coding don't have a normal dictionary. I'm talking about like a paper dictionary where you open it up and it says, that's the code for that. So it tells you the code and what it means, you know. And then once you've got that basic, then the next basic would be, how do you put those bits of code together? So using it like an alphabet. So I can't learn it because I can't learn it like an alphabet. I can't learn it like I'm using a dictionary. It's too abstract. So in my years, as I said, I've learned lots and lots of different things, and I've always wanted to know how to do that, but I can't. And it infuriates me because in recent years, I've wanted to know how to do those things to protect myself from hacking. Because if you know how to do those things, then you know how to stop someone hacking you. You can get in there and you can do your own codes and things to protect yourself. And it just infuriates me that I can't learn it. Anyway, so that was a side tangent. Back to the main point. Comm-Tech. Community Technology, Almesbury Avenue, Streatham Hill. This person that I knew from when I was 20 years old who flew in from Portugal and said you can get a desktop if you help out at this charity. So I decided to help out the charity. I cleaned it up. I went and did some cleaning for it at first. The first day I did was cleaning it, organisation and stuff like that. And I kind of enjoyed myself doing something. I like doing things, you know. Anyway, the Ido Ben-Shaul built a desktop for me. And I was like really quite happy. I thought, well, this is going to be safe. Because unfortunately for me, I'm quite trusting of people. Well, I was quite trusting of people. I don't trust anybody now. I have to psychoanalyze the heck out of you before I think, you know, I can talk to you properly. Yeah, it's really just tiring. It's tiring because everybody is out for some form of money, and to get it the easy way, they do not care who they stamp on to do it, including a vulnerable person who's gone through hells, and everything I've gone through is for real. So I got the computer desktop, and that was around about the time that I had done my DNA. I set up a separate Facebook on it because I thought I'll try and have a separate Facebook that doesn't have all the evidence on, that I can communicate with people that I actually know, so that I can have, because a lot of people that I know don't live in London, they might have moved to different countries and things like that, and I thought it would be just nice to have some communication. Well, that Facebook was bombarded with imagery of animals with makeup on, which made me feel sick. Photographs that I put up went missing. And yes, it was most definitely hacked. Now, at the time it was hacked, you have to understand the trouble I was having with Peabody, the racist neighbours, okay? People connected to Nicholas Natchball because I don't trust him at all. And it was just all getting on my nerves. And one day, and this is the same day that I got kicked in the chest. Right here in this flat. Well, not in the flat, at the front door. By a complete stranger. So the same day I got kicked in the chest by a complete stranger, police did attend that, but they didn't follow it up. They didn't follow up a single thing. But they would have remembered coming in and seeing that the computer, the desktop I had all this stuff on it. It got a virus. So what happened earlier that day was I had a breakdown because of what was going on the computer. A couple of things happened. I had already experienced being treated like crap by Jewish people from West London synagogue. So I was going through one of my DNA tests, looking at people who had just done DNA tests that are distant relatives of mine. And I saw one person that had a Jewish name, and it just triggered me. And I just didn't want to see it, because after what the Jewish people did to me, I just didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see that. I really didn't. And I got really upset. And then, because I was at that computer and all the things that happened on that particular Facebook account, which I was long shut down, and then emails were hacked from that, between housing as well. But the housing Peabody's involved in crime against me anyway. But long before I went to Comm-Tech, housing department's been committing crime towards me for years, including my mother's housing team, Cottington Close TMO. So basically, that particular day, I got really, really angry. And I phoned up Comm-Tech, because what happened was I did the one day helping out, cleaning up their office, and got the desktop in payments. Then I went back and I actually carried on helping out at what I thought was a charity, but it's not a charity, it's a limited company. So I was getting skivvy work, basically. They were telling me they were charity and I could get paid what charity can pay out in terms of lunch and travel fare. So I was doing organisation, I was breaking down computers for recycling, I was rebuilding them, doing testing on them, electrical testing, making sure screens and things like that work. You know, when you get a second-hand computer, you get your little, it's been tested sticker on there. I was doing that sort of stuff, but not coding or programming. So I did that. I was like going there once a week for quite some time. And I thought they were all right people. But that's the problem with me. I automatically think that you're okay. That's what I used to think. Everybody's okay. And then everyone starts hurting me. Now I think everyone's going to hurt me, and it takes a while for me to allow people to show that they're not going to hurt me. It's been seriously damaged and hardwired into my brain. That I can't trust anybody, not even people I know. Especially not the people I know. So I'd even gone to other charities with Alan Bushell and another staff member, or a couple of other staff members, to, redo the security on people's computers. Basically, I didn't have to do any coding. They'd done coding. I was given some USB sticks and had to go around these charities, putting USB sticks into each computer and just making sure that software on a USB stick was put into their computers to upgrade their security system. So I did that at charity. Also went to another charity, putting in CCTV, things like that. Now, Alan Bushell's from South Africa. He's what lots of people in England would call a trustafarian. A wealthy, which basically means a wealthy white person with with dreads. So, yeah, this guy. So, he knew the Portuguese guy, who is a criminal. I know that. And I don't need to say anything else, because I know that. And I don't care about the Portuguese guy. I do not care about Jose Luis, or whatever his name is, Joe Capania, or whatever his name is, Carlos. I do not care. Yeah? Understand that. I don't care. He's not anything worthwhile, yeah? He's just a nasty little piece of shit. So I will root him out all day long. You know, he knew me when I was 20, and he knows some of the things my family's gone through. Why on earth would he want to come and commit crime towards me? Dirty little dog. Because at the end of the day, he made a big bloody mistake, because I know what he was doing back then. Imagine if I knew that he was going to do that to me in my future. I could have absolutely screwed him over when I was 20 years old. I could have screwed him right over. If I had any foresight that he was going to destroy my future, in the future he was going to destroy me, I would have destroyed him there and then. He'd still be in prison now. My moral, no, not my moral. My motto is this: mess with me, mess with my family, and it's fair game. I'm coming for you. You understand? And because I know a lot of things about a lot of people, and I have an idyllic memory, on the most part, I have an idyllic memory. Don't bother messing with me. Do not target me. Do not target my vulnerable family, because it is fair game. I'm coming for you because you crossed the line. When it comes to me, you crossed the line. You target me and my family, and it's fair game. Everything you're involved in, anything you have been involved in, I will know it and talk it. No, I don't go running to the police. The police abuse me anyway. Anyway, Jose Campagna has connections in the police force. Anyway, moving on. Back to the Comm-Tech thing. So, as I said, I also, around about that time, had gone to West London Synagogue a couple of times. A handful of times. And was getting mistreated and spoken to like I'm some sort of freaking retard by some of the people at West London Synagogue. And then there was the targeting from Daniela Mende. Then there was A.L. Pick. Then there was what the rabbi said. Oh my God, it was just too much for me. But then there's that Ido Ben-Shaul. That's where I met him. Now, I was told the rabbi was talking about an anti-corruption protest. I've been fighting corruption since 2020. And I stupidly went, oh, I'm up for that. Anything that's fighting corruption, I'll stand with. Anything that's fighting corruption, I'll stand with. That's what my mentality was. Although I was blatantly being set up. And I went along to a couple of these Choose Democracy marches, and pictures were taken with me in the crowd, and I was clocked by people connected to the Socialist Workers' Party. That's relevant because people from the Socialist Workers' Party down in Brixton were targeting me way back in 2018, 2019. All I was doing was going and standing with people who were apparently standing against corruption. I'm a British woman. I'm like, I'll stand with anyone against corruption. But that group of people were bloody corrupted. So there you go. What can I say? What can I say? What can I say? Caused me a lot of problems, I tell you that. So I had gone to the anti-corruption protests with Ido Ben-Shaul, the ex-Israeli Defence Force. That's how I know so much about him being ex-Israeli Defence Force. And then I met another one of his friends who was ex-Israeli Defence Force, who was a fighter pilot. There are witnesses to it, and there's also a complaint by Ido Ben-Shaul in a review on the day that I sat with Ido Ben-Shaul and another former member of the Israeli Defence Force in a pub on Whitehall. The other Israeli Defence Force looked exactly like the Algerian that lived next door to me at number 2 Harbour House on Loughborough Estate. Exactly. I couldn't even look at his face. They looked the same. That much. They looked the same. And I'm like, I couldn't look at his face. I was struggling, I was just struggling to look at his face. Big time struggling to look at his face. But it's because it looked exactly like the Algerian that was living on Loughborough Estate. The same. Identical. They could be bloody twins. So anywho, I was able to deduce on that day, because the other guy that looked like the Algerian, the Israeli ex-Israeli Defence Force fighter pilot that looked like the Algerian. By the way, all the cameras up Whitehall would have seen me walking with them as well to the pub. So, one that looked like the ex-IDF that looked like, who looked like Ramsey, the fighter pilot, he was joking and taking the mickey out of Ido Ben-Shaul, which is why I was calling Ido Ben-Shaul a pencil pusher. Because that's what Ido Ben-Shaul's role was in the Israeli Defence Force. He wasn't a fighter. He was a pencil pusher. but nonetheless a coder and a programmer. Now, I thought, stupidly, because there are times that even I can be quite naive, and I was quite naive that these people would understand about national security being important. But they don't. Israeli people do not care about British national security and the safety and well-being of British people in England. So, nonetheless, so around that time, I was at Comm-Tech volunteering 1 day a week. And Ido Ben-Shaul was telling me that there was a job coming up and they needed somebody who's a computer programmer. Not being a computer programmer, and Ido Ben-Shaul was looking for a job, I said to Ido Ben-Shaul, why don't you go and have an interview with Comm-Tech, Community Technology? He did go and have an interview with Community Technology on Almsbury Avenue. So, no, these things are not in my head. Like I said, you have to just go back. I don't know how far the government keep the CCTV down Whitehall, but if you go back to 2002, you will see me with the 2 Israeli Defence Force people walking down Whitehall and going to a pub called the Old Shades, I believe. And then if you look in the Old Shades review for that date, you will also see a complaint by Ido Ben-Shaul because his food kept getting given to him cold. Let me explain something. Don't sit with me talking about being military when you've got no respect for the British national security. I come from a military family. Do not sit next to me like you give a crap about the world's security, Israeli Defence Force. Don't do it. Okay? Not impressed. Because at the end of the day, Ido Ben-Shaul's got British citizenship, so his loyalties should be for England first. Simple. Your loyalties are for this country. You've got citizenship here. You live here. Your loyalties come for this country first. And if he was innocent of anything, then why on earth did he not go forward? So Ido Ben-Shaul of Community Technology met and spoke with in person with Ido Ben-Shaul. Emails were sent from Ido Ben-Shaul. One went to my email, one went to Ido Ben-Shaul, and Ido Ben-Shaul just copied me in, basically. I don't make up stories. Because no one listens to me properly and looks at things properly. Because there's a lot of stuff backing this one up. So, past that happening, after the Jewish community, West London synagogue, people decided to target me and cause me problems. After that, I've got this desktop that I got from Community Technology, and I'm going through my DNA test. This is a few years ago, my old ancestry DNA test, and I've got upset because I found that there was one distant cousin who had a Jewish surname, and it just triggered me. Then all of the bombardment with these imageries of animals with makeup on, which is making me feel sick. And because by that time, Ido Ben-Shaul and Ido Ben-Shaul had already sat together. Both computer programmers, both coders. And then, so I'm freaking out. I'm having a breakdown, and the desktop goes out of the window. The desktop went straight out of the window, but not before I removed the hard drive to keep it just in case. I'm not a digital forensic analyst, but somebody out there is. And with a computer hard drive, they might be able to get some information from it. I don't know. They may be able to gain some information into who hacked into it or whatever. But that hard drive did come from community technology. So I've still got it somewhere. So I threw it out the window. Part of it. And that was the day that this stranger came and kicked me in the chest at the front door. And I did call the police and they did attend, but they didn't follow it up. And when the policewoman came into the flat, she stared at the computer and all you could see was a load of code and stuff on it. I can't code. I can't program, I can't code. But also on that particular day, I had phoned community technology and had a right go at them about hacking. And that's when the computer suddenly stopped working. It went from working to stop working and just a bunch of code.